Hey y'all, so today I have swatches and comparisons for the debut collection from Lights Lacquer, which is Kathleen Lights' nail polish brand. I really like this collection. I think there's some unique polishes in here, and let's get into it. First up we have 11, which is this really odd combination of like mustard yellow and pea green. It's kind of one of those ugly pretty colors, but I really like it. It's pretty opaque in the first coat. I would say almost a one coater. If you tend to do thicker coats, it can definitely be a one coater for you. Here's a swatch picture, 2 coats plus top coat. First up for comparisons, I have China Glaze Trendsetter, Virago Varnish, Combat Boots and Bodysuits, which they no longer make polish, or they're not making polish currently, and China Glaze Mustard the Courage. Definitely no dupes here. Trendsetter is the closest, but it's definitely darker, a little more on the green side, and it has that shimmer in it. Next up for comparisons, I have KL Polish, Celine, Caramello, and Gemini. I added in a ton of KL polish comparisons on this because I knew people would wonder if any of the colors were similar to what KL polish had put out. Definitely no dupes here. Celine is much lighter. It does have a little bit of shimmer that doesn't show in this. Caramello, much darker, more brown mustardy, and Gemini is more of a bright yellow. Next up we have Jefa, which I believe is female boss in Spanish. Ignore my terrible accent. In this first coat, I would say it's mostly opaque. I have gotten it opaque in one coat other times that I've put it on. I did 2 coats in the swatch picture here just to make sure everything was covered and I didn't have any bald spots or anything like that. And here's a swatch picture, 2 coats plus top coat. First up for comparisons, we have OPI Ayahuasca Made Me Do It, which was an Ulta exclusive for the Peru collection from last year. And then we have SC Bon Voyage. Ayahuasca is the closest thing that I have to this. The tone is a little bit different and it is darker. Bon Voyage is a little more sage. It's definitely lighter and the tone is a little different to me. Next up for comparisons, we have KL Polish Miss Kensington and Mojito. Definitely no dupes here. I just wanted to show a few of the greens from the brand. Next up we have Woman, which is a gorgeous blue. I think my swatch picture is a little more color accurate. It shows up very dark in this, in the video. It was opaque in one coat for me. And here's the swatch picture, 1 coat plus top coat. First up for comparisons, we have SC Anchor Down, OPI Less is Norse, and KL Polish Porter Miami. Definitely no dupes here. All of the tones are a little bit different. Woman is a really interesting, dusty but bright navy blue. Anchor Down, much more muted, much dustier. Less is Norse, much more navy and darker than Woman is. And Porter Miami is obviously very bright in comparison. And then from KL Polish, we have 1435, Cozy in There, and Gumption. No dupes here. They're all very different. I really thought that it was going to be closer to a lot of things that I have in my collection, and seeing them all next to each other, it really shows the differences. Next up, we have Rosie, which is this really pretty, I think like a cool tone brown nude with this really pretty amber kind of shimmer in it. And here's the second coat of Rosie. Looking at it in the video and even in my picture under the direct lights that I use, I definitely could have used a third coat. I don't think that I really noticed it in person though. So here's Rosie, 2 coats plus top coat. Again, I think that my pictures are a little more color accurate. It's a little harder to color correct a video, at least for me. And here are the comparisons that I have for Rosie. I have KL Polish, Cafe Disco, and SC Teacup Half Full. I thought that Teacup Half Full was going to be very similar, but it's a much warmer, I don't know, like rosier or mauve, more mauve toned than Rosie is. Next up we have HBIC, which stands for Head Bitch in Charge. pardon my language. It's this gorgeous like metallic, almost gunmetal black. This was opaque for me in one coat. You do want to be a little careful about your brush strokes because when it dries down you can still see them a little bit. And here is the swatch picture for HBIC. One coat plus top coat. And for comparison, this is nowhere near a dupe, but the closest in formula or in like the type of polish that I had was SE Cause and Reflect. I think that this would make a really interesting gradient. I might have to try that. And last but certainly not least is Girl Power, which is this really pretty gold with a little bit of like copper maybe glitter nail polish. In the bottle it has like a little bit of shift to it. I don't really see it in person. Here's the second coat. You can still see my nail line. It's not completely opaque. And here's the third coat. Even after the third coat, it's not 100% opaque. There's some little gaps in the glitter, which you might try sponging on a layer. So maybe do your first coat, regular sponge on the second, see what that does. It might get a little bit better coverage. And here is the swatch picture, 3 coats plus top coat. And for the comparison, I have Kale Polish Leo. Looking at them, I thought they'd be a little more similar, but Girl Power is much more bright, vibrant gold, and Leo's a little more copper orange. Also wanted to show Girl Power as a topper because I'd seen some pictures of it that way. So on the pinky, we have HBIC. On the ring finger, we have Woman. Heffa is on the middle finger, and 11 is on the index finger. As a topper, it's really pretty. I actually like the combination of all of these. I also show it on my thumb over rosy. And here is Girl Power over all of the other polishes from this collection. And that is the Lights Lacquer debut collection. I'm not sure if it has a name. It might be Girl Power. Each of these polishes is $9.50 US, which isn't a terrible price. It's probably on par or the lower end of indie nail polish. The bundle of all 6 polishes is $52. I absolutely loved the creams. They're all 1 to 2 coaters, depending on how you apply polish. I really like the brush on this. It's a wider brush, but it's not as wide as like the new Essie wide brush. I find it really easy to apply and I don't get a ton in my cuticles. So that's all for today. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in my next video.